Hey, it's Kelly. I'm here talking about witchcraft today, and I wanted to just do something freeform rather than working off a script. I hate doing that, but I know I need to. But I just wanted to share my journey as a witch. It's so weird because it started when I was a kid. I was really into the magical worlds. I was reading books like um, The Magic Faraway Tree and the Enchanted Wood by Enid Blyton. I would get lost in those stories, and really there were witches and magical creatures in there like there are in a lot of fantasy stories, but that idea of another realm out there, whether it be in the imagination or whether it be real, and there's a connection when you're out, especially in nature. I felt that when I was at people's places, if I saw a grove of trees, somehow it stirred something in me, and still does, especially if I see a line of trees. I love the symmetry, but also the idea of there being order as well as chaos in the world. But as a child, I was enamored with things like that and deja vu, and especially places out in nature that just felt like they were places I could run away and hide and find that fairy kingdom. I remember being a kid and coming into the kitchen and asking Mum if she believed in fairies, and the way she answered me told me, oh, okay, they're not true. Because she kind of looked at me and smiled, and as if, okay, yeah, I believe in fairies. And it kind of, I'm not saying it dampened my interest in the realms, in the fairy realms, whatever you want to call it, but it sort of started in me that duality where maybe this isn't true. So as I went through teenagehood, of course, I was obsessed with. It was in the 80s, and I had my boyfriend, and it was music and going out with friends, and so, as usual, just like most people, when you're coming up through your teens and even through your 20s, you're learning about the world, about life, about other people, and spirituality tends to take a back seat. And even though some people, of course, who are forced into religion when they were born, just because of their parents, they just have to adopt that whether they like it or not, because some people think as parents they've got a right to dictate to their offspring, like their offspring aren't really human beings with rights, and they're just an extension of them, therefore they can do what they want to them. So some people grow up with religion and then kick against it because it's natural. In your teenage years, the rebellious side comes out in you. So I had friends who had come up through the ranks through religion, some who clung to it and others who sidestepped it but then came back later on in life. I grew up in a household where religion was kind of poo-pooed, and especially in Australia it wasn't a big deal like it is here in America, where people wear it as a badge of honour and something to stuff in your face. You know, how are you? Oh, I'm blessed. I hate it when people say it like that, like, take that, you know. It's like, really, is that how you're supposed to, what you're boasting? I don't know, it has a real, icky sort of side to it. And also, I've noticed here in this country, people use it a hell of a lot more as a weapon. It's either, us or them, this side or that side. And in Australia it wasn't as that. It was blurred, because even when we did come up against religious people, they'd even laugh at themselves. I don't know what it is in America about people being so uptight about things that you don't need to be. But anyway, for me, I wondered when I was in my late teens and early 20s, what religion am I going to be? Like, you had to choose one. And it's interesting because all throughout I was interested in the esoteric side of life. I dabbled with Buddhism for a while. I actually lived on a Tibetan Buddhist monastery for a year. I dabbled with witchcraft here and there. Just, I suppose witchcraft is so broad because I got into numerology pretty young. I learned when I was about 20 2 years of age, and I'm 58 now, so I've been doing numerology ever since then. I did get into tarot cards. I always burned incense. I can't hear because my husband's really sensitive with his sinuses, so I was always into oils, essential oils, going for tarot readings and spirit readings. And I remember one time in my 20s I went to a clairvoyant, and it was a male, and he was looking at my aura, and he was telling me that my aura was this intense purple flowing out of me. He said it's almost black. He was really stunned, and I suppose I was 50-50 whether or not I believed him, but he just said, your aura is very powerful, it's almost overwhelming. He said, how do you deal with that energy? And the interesting thing about that to me is I'd known since I was a child I was very highly sensitive, but I didn't put the two and two together until I saw a documentary that Alanis Morissette was in called The Highly Sensitive Person. I think that's what it was called. Anyway, it just, all the pieces fell into place because my volume's always been way up, meaning how I react to things, how I feel things. I can feel other people's pain as though it happened to me. And I don't know if they call that an eye decker or something like that. Somebody who can, but once they hear your story, they absorb it as though, and then feel and react as though it's happened to them. And I've had that throughout my life. And being a highly sensitive person, I'm very dramatic with sometimes my facial expressions. I've been told I have a really mean resting bitch face. But sometimes I could be looking at you like, but I'm thinking about what flavour ice cream I'd like. You know, it's really weird. But my sensitivities is what I'm trying to get to. They were always there, and I always leaned towards the mystical side. I've always been into dream interpretation, very much writing it down and analysing myself. Very interesting over the years when you see, yes, these symbols mean this to me and what have you. But I've also astral travelled since I was a kid. I haven't done it much at all as an older woman, but there were times there, especially in my 20s and 30s, where it was really intense. I've talked about that in a video on my channel on Portal Stormer, but I guess this is just a little interlude why I'm doing this in this video, because I'm feeling like I'm drawn towards the Hedgewitch Herbarium website. God, my brain, I should have scripted this. But anyway, I've been leaning towards the Hedgewitch Herbarium channel on YouTube and kind of leaning away from the Portal Stormer. And it's not because, oh, I'm not getting enough followers. I mean, let's face it, it's less than 20 on both channels, and I don't understand that I'm putting out good content. I feel it's not polished and professional. I work full time. I do this on the side, but because I want to step back into what I feel is my authentic self, I've always felt that nature, herbally, I'm into herbalism, of course. I have a certificate, well, it's not a certification, but I did 2.5 years of herbal medicine training through the Chestnut School of Herbal Medicine, and I'd always wanted to do that. And once I completed that, I think it was 2020, I can't remember now, 22. Anyway, it dawned on me, this is who I want to be, and it's really interesting. I just wanted to share this because I know there's probably women and or anybody out there, when you're living a life according to what you assume you're supposed to do, or when you go blinkered and just one foot after the other, I'm just paying the bills. It's funny how years turn into decades, and I realised that I was blocking off that side of myself. Even though I was on the surface getting into it, I went really atheist for a long time, and still have that little, I reserve that little piece in there because I'm a truth teller. I can't just believe stuff just because someone told me or I read it somewhere. I have to experience it and know it myself. But because I think that pendulum swing went too far, because nothing meant anything, life was shit, you just got to forge through it and then you die. That mentality, especially as I got older, when I hit 50, I'm 58 now, when I hit 50, I pretty much threw in the towel in terms of feeling like my life was over. I'm an old woman now. I'm in the crone phase, and I embrace that now, but I remember going through that in my early 50s thinking it's all downhill from here. I stopped taking care, well, I stopped bothering even attempting to take care of myself physically. I slowly but surely over the years stopped wearing makeup and stopped really caring what I looked like, because I thought, what's the point, because I'm not out there to try to attract somebody. But then it's also tied into self-worth, and I know my self-worth was down through the floor because of some personal things that have happened in my life and things I'm still dealing with. But especially the last couple of years, I could say I went through a really deep depression. But I'm amazed. I'm very good at being so stoic and one foot ahead of the other, even though there's been some blips on the radar. When I delved deep into that depression, that mentality of not caring about who I am, thinking my life was over, that even went deeper and darker. And it, coupled with the frustrations at work, having to deal with people, especially in social services. If it's not the clients coming in the door, it's the people, certain people you got to work with, or the overblown expectations, all those stresses. I'm just thinking, okay, we got to keep our health insurance, because in this country you've got to pay through the nose for health insurance. So had to keep the ball rolling like other people. We all sometimes just I've got to pay the bills, I've got to keep going. But I'd walked myself into this dark pit to the point where late last year I really hit rock bottom, and I'd always wondered my whole life, how do people have nervous breakdowns? I think that's a bit of a lie. In late November, no, it might have been December last year, I really did hit rock bottom. I felt like no one understood me, no one cared, I didn't know what was happening, and I feel like it's because the centre wasn't holding. I somehow deep down inside I understood that I couldn't keep going like that, because I was just marching myself further and further into the ground, to the point where I did have a mental breakdown one day due to all the pressures coming at me, having to be everything to everyone, and yes, I'll take care of this and that. I got to a point where I completely lost it. I didn't know. I was walking in and out of rooms wondering if I should smash something. It was a really terrible feeling, and it should never be romanticized, the nervous breakdown. It is a terrifying feeling. I felt like I couldn't get a grip on anything. I was tumbling, and I thought, this is it. It's not just you fall and then you land. I just kept falling, and the sensation of not having a grip and that I was going to keep falling was terrifying. I ended up taking myself to a 2-day retreat at the Penwell Ridge Retreat Centre, and I've posted videos about that on my Portal Stormer website. I'm not sure whether I'm going to repost them on the Hedgewitch Herbarium website. I do want to keep the Portal Stormer website channel going, because of the idea of the mental health through storytelling. I've got lots of channels, as in lots of interest and everything. But anyway, when I went to this retreat, there was no plan. I just took myself through it, faced myself, did some tarot, went and did some meditation, walked the labyrinth, and it was incredible. I really just somehow shook myself up. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep those whole 2 days. I was a manic mess. But when I came out the other side, I'd written pages, like more than 14 pages. One night it was just 14 pages, and then after that many other pages. And as I wrote, I cried my eyes out and learned things about myself. I grappled with the idea that my atheism just wasn't working for me. Not that I wanted magical answers, but I wanted to open up that side to myself that I'd shut off. And I realised we're both physical and spiritual, material and immaterial. And when I opened up and said, when I went to that weekend, well, it wasn't a weekend, it was a 2-day thing, Thursday, Friday, went home on the Saturday, I said to myself, there's no rules here. Whatever messages that come to me, whatever. And it's amazing how that opening up really blossomed. And when I got back home, continuing with therapy, I started with BetterHelp with a great therapist who's really been a great guide. I opened up again to all this stuff, opened up to let me explore. I started watching tarot readings on YouTube, and there's 4 particular tarot readers who just kept telling me the stuff that was just jiving so well with me that I thought, is this for me? It was weird, and it was amazing how the experience of opening up, letting this in, looking at things symbolically and understanding where I fit, and taking the advice not only from the therapy but also these tarot readings. I'm going to put the links. I call them the four horsemen. I don't know why, these 4 tarot readers on YouTube just consistently fed back what I was experiencing, sometimes to an incredible degree. And I will share that one time, but there was just so many great things about it. And I started doing it for myself, started opening up, started getting the Hedgewitch Herbarium channel kick-started again. And through all the advice and the opening up, I've learned to operate from the heart. I had opened up all the crap that I went through when I was a kid, dealing with an alcoholic, narcissistic mother. And probably a month and a half ago, whenever it was, I all of a sudden woke up one morning and started developing compassion from her, opening up and acting from a place of love rather than reactionary all the time. Because I'm very sharp and hard with my words. If someone's upset me, I'll get real, like that scorpion tail coming over. Yeah, bang. And then I'm, fuck, what did I say that for? Whatever. Learning about my power and how to rein it in, I embraced, probably February into March, I embraced the dark side of myself in order to understand myself and realize you really do have to dip into the darkness of the pit of your soul to unearth those truths, bring them back up to the light. And I did that, recognizing my reactions and behavioral patterns that developed after having been brought up by a mother like that, and also family members and others around who knew what was going on but didn't step in to help. I went into my dark side, but then I realized as I was unearthing all this crap, I was using the fire horse. In Chinese astrology, I am the year of the horse and the element fire, so I was using that symbology. I've created a video about it too, about the fire horse being there helping me burn off all this lower self rage from when I was a child and an adult, because she continued to have her talons into me. But I realised, I went through, especially through the Mercury retrograde that's recently happened, that was where it dawned on me, I can't keep raging like this. It's good to burn it off, but when is this going to stop? But it was the opening up of my heart and forgiving my mum, not for her sake, but for mine. The flow on since then has been incredible. I've been opening up to people rather than coming at them with, I know what you're going to do, I know what you're going to say, so I'm going to nip it in the bud. Rather than that, I was just opening, hey, how are you? And being able to change those energies just by smiling, by being nice, by not going in with swords ready to charge at the person. And the last few weeks have been interesting because I've come out of that darkness from that Mercury retrograde, and this last couple of weeks has been really powerful. I've felt stronger, than I have before, and therefore more aligned with my authentic self. And my authentic self, I figured it out through some real deep analysis, but I've come up with my magical name, which is Huxnum. I'll share that video that I had created about being a portal stormer, actually from my Storming Archives fantasy series, explaining my mental health through that. And I think I'll share that here on the Hedgewitch Herbarium website. And I don't even know if I'm even going to post this video on Portal Stormer. It's really sort of deflating. Everyone blames the algorithms, and I know that's a little bit to it, but it's also about the quality of your content. And like I said, I'm not a professional person, but I see people sitting there in McDonald's recording themselves, and they've got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So, but then again, their content is consistent, and that's where I drop off. I'm not that consistent. I will, of course, with Hedgewitch Herbarium, it's all about the herbal stuff. It's all about witchcraft and stones and dream interpretation and tarot and numerology even. So it's going to be more streamlined. I think that Portal Stormer was a channel that I started when I first came back from the retreat, because I wanted to channel all the mental health stuff I was going through, and while I was doing that I was sharing other things like numerology profiles, which get lots of views but rarely get likes, and still only 12 supporters and 12 subscribers on Portal Stormer. While I appreciate and cherish all of them, they've been really sweet, it's just frustrating because I want to reach more people. I do want to end up, however long it takes, this being something that I do for a living. But I know that I've got to get more streamlined, and that's fine. But becoming a witch isn't just about casting spells. I'm not a big spell caster. I believe in using your power, like programming yourself, like you're a computer. Setting intentions, that's something I've been really getting back into lately. Also too, I think training the mind to respond in certain ways to different scenarios in life is a form of witchcraft. I mean, ritual is all about doing the same things over and over so it becomes rote. And also because it programs the mind. Now I've lit this candle, now I've put the incense into the charcoal burner, now I've made my statement, now I'm summoning whatever process, or now I'm brushing my teeth, whatever it is, there's steps that are leading you somewhere, and that intention helps bring things about. So I'm hoping to get more streamlined like that with this channel, with Hedgewitch Herbarium. I'm going to be showing more videos taken outside, looking at the plants, making the medicines. It's just that I'm coming out of a big dark pit, and I'm sort of like a fresh little baby, even though I'm an old hag. But other things I've learned about myself being ADHD, and it explains a lot. But I'm not being harsh on myself like I used to be. I'm getting things done step by step. I'm learning more about myself, opening up to the world, and I'm struggling to find out who I am in this digital world. I'm an author, I'm a numerologist, I'm a dream interpreter, I'm a hedge witch, I'm a herbalist, I'm all these different things. But then what do you care? It's all about what I'm offering you, and I'm going to continue offering tarot readings. I'm going to see how these numerology, the Destiny tarot readings go. If it turns out there's not much of a response, I won't do it again the following week. But I feel good. I've already done the video for the Destiny 1 people. That was really interesting. I'm incorporating trance. But what I'm trying to say here, and what I'm trying to say in this video, I guess, is I'm declaring, I'm coming out, not coming out, but I wanted to put it out there to see what people's response would be if this is the kind of content you want, but then only a few of you are going to see it, although lots of people have watched a lot of videos I've got that I wasn't expecting. But it's just the conversion, isn't it? Hitting the right tribe, trying to find those people. But then I'm not leveraging social media as well as I should be, putting the word out there, which I'm going to do. But I'm just putting this out there for myself also, as well as for you. I'm going to continue with the stones. I really enjoy sharing information about the magic of stones, bones and fossils and all the other things, shells and stuff like that. Herbalism, of course, making herbal medicine, using herbs in spells. More content about that, me actually doing it, than just putting together frames to share information, which I still will do and I enjoy doing, because I can do that like that. But I'm wanting to just find my tribe, whether you're a pagan or whether you're a Christian, whether you're gay, straight or in between. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the age. I am a crone, but I can really relate to younger people too. But I just wanted to say that I am a witch. My name is Huxnum. That's my magical name. Otherwise, you can call me Kelly. I will be sharing some interesting information about dream interpretation, and I will offer free dream interpretation for anybody. You want to put a comment on this video and tell me a dream you want me to interpret, I'd be happy to. I've been doing that in a podcast called The Dream Depository. That's all those podcast episodes are available on the Portal Stormer channel, which I will share, and I'll probably keep posting there, but I'm going to focus, I would say, 90% of my energy into this channel. I'd love to link up with some other witches out there, head witches, solitary practitioners or otherwise, if you're in a coven. I always wondered if I should start a coven, but with that ADHD I've got to be careful, because I've always got like 10 different fingers and 10 different pies. But I'm going to get more serious about how I present myself too. I don't want to be one of those people parading as a high priestess. I'm a truth teller and I've got a really strong bullshit meter. I don't want to be projecting something or coming across as, oh my god, you have to kneel. I want to share and have this be a two-way street. I'm always thinking about the infinity symbol. It always flows back and forth. But I'm just putting this out there and saying hello, and please tell your friends, or if you're interested, if you have any suggestions what you'd like to see. I suppose I've yet to flex my muscles properly on this channel, and you'll get to see more of this, and I think I'm going to record more of me talking rather than, like I said, all the stuff I put together, even though I'll continue doing that. This weekend I'm going to go out and relive some of the moments in the Hedgewitch Herbarium podcast where I talked about magic in the garden. I found out when I surveyed my whole garden, just about every plant and weed I have growing there can address all the health issues. Not that I have a lot, but you know, the usual stuff, whether it be thyroid or this or that. So please stay tuned, and please comment and let me know if you didn't subscribe, what was the reason. I can tell by looking at the analytics. I'm checking that out. So I'm mostly appealing to people who are 65 plus, which I find unusual because I swear. And a lot of my content is unusual, but maybe us in our older years, I mean, 65 plus is only 7 years away from where I am now. I would like to think that I'm also relevant. That's another thing that I went through when I hit 50. Well, that's it. There's my relevance out the window. Not that I think I ever had it. And this is the good thing about totally talking from an egoless point of view. Rising above, because the truth is number one. Nothing is higher than the truth. And I like to call it like it is, see it like it is, but also I like to dwell in fairyland. So if you enjoy doing that too, if you like playing in these little realms, definitely join me here. And I'm sorry I was rambling through this, but I just wanted to put it out there. So thank you very much for watching, and if you did like it, please like. And if you feel so inclined, I would love it if you would subscribe. And like I said, comment, tell me, you know, am I just a crazy old bitch? Say what you like, but take care, and do keep posted. There's going to be a lot of great content coming soon. Thanks.